All right, Shalawam Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bashim YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to Lek out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. All right, I want to get into a brief topic based upon some Apostle Gabar said in the live stream earlier this morning, and he made reference to the word power and how the elite sacrifice for power and how we on the right-hand side sacrifice for power. So you have two sides, opposing one another, both trying to seek power, so that the other side can't get above them. So in this world, what do people typically seek after? They seek after what? Money, power, and respect. And that's what I want to base this lesson off of, and also getting into, the sacrificing because, on the left-hand side, we know they sacrifice for wickedness, actually sacrificing kids and, and different animals and just all types of weird, crazy stuff. But us on the right-hand side of things, when we put up our prayers into the Most High can consider that as a sacrifice. When we fast, that's definitely a sacrifice. And what we're fasting for more power, whether it be literally more power in the spirit, to speak, to be more edifying. We're asking for the Lord more power to boost us in faith daily, more power to increase us in the knowledge daily. Whatever you may be fasting for, that's a sacrifice in order to attain some sort of power or some sort of spiritual gift from Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi. Okay, so sacrificing and power is what this thing is all about. That's what we're trying to attain. Okay, so real quick, getting into the book of Ezekiel, the 16th chapter. And another quick point, is that with the money, power, and respect, the nations, they look at money, power, and respect just on a physical plane, but us in the spirit, we look at the money, the power, respect as all being spiritual, which is going to turn into the physical. Okay, so it's two different sides of how you can look at this. But we looking at things through the spirit, not just on the physical aspect of things, because we know, according to the scriptures, that riches profit not in the day of wrath, meaning the physical riches. Everything that's physical within this world is going to die off, so we're not putting our trust in those things as the other nations are. All right, so real quick, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, and I want to start at verse 8. Now when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness. Okay? Yea, I swear unto thee and enter into a covenant with thee, said the Lord power, and thou becamest mine. So all the Lord is basically explaining right here is the relationship between a man and a woman. When a man meets a woman, how he takes her in, so on and so forth, how he deals with her, and brings her up to a level, that she probably never saw within herself. So that's what Yahawah himself did with us. He brought us to a level in which we can never attain on our own, okay? And set us apart from the other nations so that we be the woman that stands out in the crowd, man. Out of all the women there, and I'm referencing the women or women in general as being all the nations, but Israel was that chosen and that special woman, who the Lord picked out of the whole crowd to make something, to turn into something, to be his, man, So this all this is, the Most High is explaining the relationship between a man and a woman and him being the bride, or Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi being the bridegroom and we being the bride, all right? So, verse 9, it says, then washed I thee with water. What? He washed us with the word, this knowledge, this wisdom and understanding, all right? Yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil, I clothed thee also with broidered work and shod thee with badger skin, and I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. So in the beginning, in verse 8, when we became his, he endowed us with the knowledge of wisdom and understanding, which is money, but that's the spiritual money, the spiritual riches, Romans 11:33. Okay, now in verse 10, now he's getting to, after we had attained the spiritual riches, now he actually gave us physical riches, which could be seen as far as the other nations can see that. All right. I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck. And I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon thine head. Thus was thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen, and silk and broidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou wast exceeding beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom. Okay, so we're seeing, you know what I mean, how things work. And with the King Solomon, when he prayed unto the Lord, matter of fact, let me just go to it real quick. Let me just go to it. It's First Kings, 3rd chapter, I believe. 3rd or 4th, I believe it's the 3rd. Yeah, this First Kings 3, and I'll start at 6. And Solomon said, thou hast showed unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee, and thou hast kept for him this great kindness, and thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne as it is this day. And now, O Lord, my power, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or to come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered or counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. And Yahawah said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither has asked riches for thyself, nor has asked the life of thine enemies, but has asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy works. So the Lord was pleased with Solomon not seeking something physical, not seeking something tangible, but seeking something spiritual, the spiritual gift, you know, so that he can actually deal with Yahawah himself, you know, on a level to be able to deal with this people, man. Okay, so he asked for spiritual riches, not the physical, and that pleased the Lord. So in turn, what did the Lord do? Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart of mind, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then will I lengthen thy days. Okay, so we see that, you know, and we can chart the course of Solomon's life. He had the money, the spiritual riches. Okay, from that, the Lord gave him the power over the people, how to discern the judgment amongst the people. Okay, and then he got the respect from his people, and that renown went forth amongst the other nations. Now all the other nations envied us, okay, for having that money, power, and respect. But it all comes through the spirit, man. These other nations, they try to seek the money, the power, and the respect just on the physical aspect of things, in which they will never get above a certain level, because what the Lord ordained it to be a certain way. Okay, because all things have to be done through the spirit. Look at what the societies at hand are trying to do. They're trying to create AI technology. You know, they're trying to create duplicate human beings. They're trying to create ligers. You know what I'm saying? Mixed breeding animals, different sheep and stuff like that, man. They're trying to do things on that godlike level, but they're not to that level, man. Because what? They're seeking it carnally. And the inheritance in the kingdom and everything have been given unto us, because the Lord made that separation between Jacob and Esau. So therefore, you know, through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, we're going to gain that money, power, and respect back, in which we once had, which all came through that spiritual aspect, the spiritual plane. Okay, so going back to matter of fact, let me jump. Yeah, all right, boom. This is Lamentations 1:7. All right, and it says Lamentations 1:7. Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction and of her miseries all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy, and none did help her. The adversaries saw her and did mock at her Sabbaths. Okay? Jerusalem have grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honored her despised her. Okay? All that honored her despised her. Just as when we was getting into Ezekiel, okay, the 16th chapter. Matter of fact, did I read all the way down? Yeah, let me jump back to Ezekiel 16. Ezekiel 16 and 14. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty, for it was perfect through my comeliness, which I had put on upon thee, saith the Lord Yahawah. So that renown went forth amongst the heathen, and they were jealous of that. They were envious of that. Just like when you go into Ezekiel, the 34th chapter, and the apostles explain, when you get into that parable, pretty much, well, it's a dark saying, getting into the Syrian and the garden and the trees and the bowls and different stuff like that, and how that's twofold, and how, that pretty much gets into like Adam and dealing with his lineage, and him getting that water, that knowledge from YAHAWASHI, and all the offspring getting that and passing that on to the other nations, and them learning and them being envious of us, man. Because we were that top nation, through Adam, what I'm saying, back in those days, but just going under that different name as the Adamites. So we had the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding back then in the time of Adam, and which the other nations saw that and they envied that. Just as it was being generations later during the times of King David, King Solomon, so on and so forth. The other nations hated that we had the true and living power, and that Yahawah was dealing with us on such a great level. And they wanted to be on that level to what? Attain that power so that they can be on top. Okay? But the Lord transferred things and now put us on the bottom so that they can have their chance to rule. But they just have it, as I said, on that physical plane. And that is going to be taken away from them very shortly. All right? So going back to Lamentations 1:8, Jerusalem hath grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honored her despised her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sigheth and turneth backwards. Her filthiness is in her skirts. She remembereth not her last end, therefore she came down wonderfully. She had no comforter. O Lord, behold my affliction, for the enemy hath magnified himself. And who is our top enemy? Esau. And they have magnified themselves greatly within this time frame, man. Okay? To keep us within the space in which we're in, at the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, man. Because real quick, and it's the book of Slakia. Let me get this on King James Bible online. I believe it's the history of Susanna. Slakia, no, that's not it. Slack it 1 second. Let me grab it on my strap real quick. Yeah, here we go. I don't know, for some reason they don't have it. I don't know, this thing is acting crazy online. But because I don't even have a book up there. I don't know why. But it is the songs of the three holy children, 1 and 14. For we, O Lord, are become less than any nation, and be kept under this day in all the world because of our sins. Okay? So that's what Esau is trying to keep us down to, as being less than any other nation, as though we're insignificant. We don't have no history about ourselves, that we will never rise again to a state of any money, any power, or any respect, man. because none of the nations respect the nation of Israel unto this day. Because look at how they look at us and the things that get said constantly about us and the stereotypes of our people that are placed upon Jake. A lot of that is true, but these other nations, they love to have it in this manner, man, because it's within their spirit, just as it's what was in their spirit, way back then during the time of Adam, during the time of King Solomon, to hate on the children of Israel because they want that money, power, and respect, and they want to keep it there, and they don't want that to change. Who actually wants to lose power? Who wants to lose money? Who wants to lose respect? No one. That's what everybody is seeking after, but everybody else is doing it in the wrong manner. Even when you look at these other camps, they're doing things in the wrong manner, because they're not going into the prophecies, you know what I'm saying? They're seeking physical riches. They're seeking notoriety, okay, by the music videos and all these grandiose Passover, so on and so forth. They're seeking things in the manner of Esau and these other nations are, not in the correct spirit of YAHAWASHI, man, So, real quick, this is the book of Lamentations 2:15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. That's what all these other nations do, man. Goddamn niggas, them goddamn spics, They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? So when we out there in them highways, so when we out there in them highways and byways, and we're telling the other nations, because they're going to hear the word too, so they can know their judgment, that we are the chosen people, that we're going to be on this great estate. YAHAWASHI is going to put us back where we're supposed to be. All they can do is hiss and wag their head. They can laugh. All they do is laugh at it, man, because they can't ever see that, man. When they look at our people as a whole, they see us strung out, you know what I'm saying, welfare, constantly being locked up, you know what I'm saying, constantly killing one another, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? That we can't stick together as a people. That's what they see. So they keep us in that boat, and they will never take that mind frame for thinking that we can be other than what our current situation has shown, because we've been this way for hundreds of years. But they've had their hand in all of this, man, Verse 16, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. How it said in the previous scripture that thy enemy have magnified himself against us, okay? All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we look for. We have found it. We have seen it. Okay, so that's what they've been looking for this whole time, man. But little do they know that transference of power, is going to happen real soon. The scriptures say, from riches unjustly gotten, the kingdom won't be translated from one people onto another. So that transference of power is coming real soon, man. That money, that power, and the respect is going to be transferred over, man. But it's all through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, first and foremost. We're not seeking the physical riches of today's society. We do what we have to do to get by. Some brothers may have their little businesses and things like that, but brothers don't put their faith in the riches of the society. We do what we need to do, man. Hey, whatever brother got to do, you know what I'm saying, to make his situation decent, as long as it's in righteousness, hey, you got to do what you got to do. We all got daily responsibilities and stuff to take care of so that we can, take care of our families and still continue to do the work of YAHAWASHI. If you're not handling business, how can you maneuver in the car? You might have to travel somewhere. Some brothers may have to, some brothers live in different cities and stuff, and we come together at one location, you know what I'm saying, to go out there in them highways and byways. So we have to do, the bare necessities and do what we need to do on a daily basis. But our trust is not in none of these things, man. Our trust is in the money, the power, and respect that YAHAWASHI is going to bestow unto us if we continue to remain faithful unto him until the end, man. But that time is coming real soon, okay? So real quick, because what the scriptures say also, matter of fact, let me get it, because even the ones of our people, look at how they look at us when we out there in them highways and byways, man. And this is it right here, Psalms 123. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth, man. So what? Our people's going to be willing in the day of thy power. Why don't us as men get the proper respect from the women as we're supposed to? Because we don't have the money, we don't have the power, and we don't have the respect. That's what it all goes to, man. That's what it all goes to. In the ancient world, women didn't have to work. Men took care of everything and women took care of the household. So that power was already set forth there, man. Because a woman couldn't defend herself. You know what I'm saying? A man was there to defend himself, to swing the axe, to bring the food home, so on and so forth. So that power structure was already set in place. But now Esau, being the devil that he is, you know, and playing with the laws and the times and the signs and things, switching things up to put the women above us, you know, so that we can lose that power and now we can be demoralized as men from our true estate and how we're supposed to be as lions, man. You know, that's how you know this these so-called white men, he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, meaning what? The deceiver, man. All about games and trickery, man. You know, real quick, this is the book of Deuteronomy 28:10. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee, man. So when that time comes, that transference of power, all the other nations, they're going to see, you know, what they thought that they would never see, man. You know, they're going to actually see men flying in the sky those times, men doing miraculous things. When the Lord YAHAWASHI endow us with that power from on high, man, that time is coming real soon. So we just got to constantly be patient and do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we already have the riches, which is the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding of YAHAWASHI. But in that due time, what? We're going to have that power. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to have that respect, man. Everything is going back to the natural order and the state of things, you know what I'm saying, in which these other nations can't fathom. They can't fathom America being destroyed. Women can't fathom them being taken down from that pedestal on which they're in, man. These other nations can't imagine them being taken from the pedestal on which they're in. They can't imagine their cash cow, America, aka Babylon the Great, being taken from them, man. You know, but all these things are coming to pass real soon. So, you know, in this current time, you got to know that we got to constantly suffer because this is not our world. We're meant to suffer here, man. You know, the scriptures say also that what we are considered as the filth and the offscouring of the earth. But all of that is going to bring about more godliness within us, you know what I'm saying, for us to eventually attain that power and that respect in which we desperately desire from YAHAWASHI, you know. So, hey, man, you know, with that, you know, the times is near and dear until the end. So, you know, brothers, keep pushing. You know, I hope this quick segment was edifying. You know, and I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to Lek out there doing his work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Shalawam.